how do you get your sales team to perform? Now, I've done a number of videos over the past couple of years about sales team and getting them to perform and how you do that. But over the years, I've walked into an awful lot of companies that have assumed that if they've hired a salesperson, that salesperson knows what they're doing and they let them get on with it. And this is very typical of small businesses who have got a small sales team of 1 to maybe 5 salespeople. The owner of the business typically interviews somebody, they come across well, they sound good, they sound like they know what they're doing, they've given them a good track record, talk the talk, and then they've just hired them on the basis that they'll just get on with it. That rarely happens. You have to manage your salespeople. If you want to get them to perform, you have to manage them. And what does that mean? It means you have to make sure that you've set them a target, that their incentive plan, their commission plan, is exactly that, an incentive to go and get customers. And a lot of businesses don't understand still, after all these years, that you set an OTE, an on-target earnings, and that's what a salesperson should be motivated to try and achieve. The on-target earnings is based on a target. The base salary is a base salary. The real target earnings are when you go and get some business. And so what's happened? Well, I've walked into companies where 6 months have gone by and the salesperson hasn't produced one single customer. And why? It's because what I said earlier. They've assumed that a professional salesperson with the background that they gave them in the interview is going to get on and do it. They're not. Unless you've set targets, unless you've set a commission plan that incentivizes them, and unless you hold them accountable week in, week out, month in, month out, nothing's going to happen. And I've seen this in multiple companies. Salespeople that give a good talk but don't produce the results. You, as the business owner, if you don't know what you're doing, you maybe need to get somebody like me in. Fractional sales directors, like me, are few and far between, but a sales director or a sales manager should be running a monthly sales meeting, should be setting out targets, should be setting out an incentive plan, but overall should be putting that salesperson accountable for what they're doing. So sales meetings, I've talked about in many videos before, is the time of the month where that salesperson has to explain what they're doing, has to run through their forecast, and a forecast of all the deals I'm going to close this month, this quarter, and they should be explaining how they're going to do that. Accountability is where businesses go wrong. They just assume that the salesperson they've hired knows what they're doing and is professional enough and, dare I say, honest enough to get on and do the job. It's not that they're neither of those things, but unfortunately salespeople are a type of animal that you've actually got to make sure is accountable. So if you don't know how to do that, I might be able to help you, but if you do, or at least want to have a go, at least have a go. Hold people accountable, and these are very tough times, and they're going to get tougher. You need to make sure that your salespeople are doing the jobs they need to do, are targeted, incentivized, and are carrying out the activity. And in order to understand that, you've got to hold them accountable. Thank you.